Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're going to take a look at Nautical. We're going to do a quick little review here of this turn-based combat survival-esque kind of game. The premise of the story I'm not going to get too much into because I don't want to give it away, but I will say it's got like a haunted kind of vibe. You're on a cruise ship with a bunch of other people. And you kind of wake up and you don't really know what the hell's happening. And you're piecing everything together as you go. And, collaborating with the other survivors and sharing your story. And there is a bad guy who is almost like, he's like a god or like, I don't know, like a demon. And you get little tidbits from him too. You get little tidbits of the story from his perspective. So, every 5 decks or so, which is what they call the levels, they call them decks, like decks of a boat. Every 5 decks or so, you'll get like a little more story from the main bad guy, which is pretty cool. But I'm not going to dive too much into that. But yeah, so it's a 20 level game. There's 20 levels. And at first they're super, super easy to beat. And it's kind of just showing you the ropes. And by the time you get to level 20, you might pull your hair out. Like, this game is tough when it gets to the end. I'm playing on normal. So there's normal, hard, and insane. Like, there's not even an easy. They labeled it normal because it's not easy. It's difficult, which I love. I put it on normal because I don't want to waste too much time, but it's not easy. It's not a game that you're gonna beat in 3 hours. I promise you that. So there are survivors on the boat, and you will try to recruit these survivors. You have to, build relationships with them. Do things for them, which speeds up the relationship. And you can recruit them to your base. You can actually recruit them to your base, and then you can go out with them to fight your battles, to explore the boat. And all the survivors have different abilities. So, one is the captain, and he has the map of each floor. One is the chef, and he can bring more food back to the boat after the level. There's all kinds of stuff. Some are more melee based, some are more resource based, blah blah blah. So what about this food? What about the resources? So so you go out on these decks, you go out on these levels, and the whole point is to beat the level. But a side goal is obviously you want to get resources, you want to get weapons, you want to get armor, because you're going to face harder opponents on the higher levels. So you scavenge for food, resources, weapons, armor. What you use these resources for, besides like the weapons and armor, obviously you obviously just use that to fight people. So the food and the resources, every day you have the option to feed your survivors, the people that are in your group. So you can feed them if you choose to. If you have a really big group, sometimes you got to ration. But if your team isn't too big, it's not that big of a deal. You could just feed them every day. And then you have resources. So there's a lot of things that the resources can go to. You have crafting benches. So you want to build up your crafting bench to get better upgrades on your weapons. And then upgrades on your weapons would be, more damage, higher capacity, higher I don't want to say magazine size, but you can shoot the gun 10 times, or you can use say you have a hammer, you can use the hammer 10 times, or you up it to 12. So you're upping how many times you can use that weapon until you got to fix it. There's the crafting bench. Then there's it's called the occult bench. So you're going to upgrade your attack, your defense stats, your health, your inventory size, how big your inventory can be, your AP size, which would be if you're in a battle, say your AP's 4, you can move 2 steps and then do a 2 power attack, a 2 AP attack. Or you can move, say your AP's 4, you move 4 steps, or you move 1 step and then do a 3 AP attack. So that dictates how your combat is going to go. The higher the AP, the easier your fights are going to be. So yeah, you have the crafting, you have the occult, then you have the health stations. So these are going to be like you create the med kits. You can rest stressed survivors, because if you use survivors too many times in a row, they get stressed out, and you have to, put them on R&R. Send them off to get like a massage or so. I forget what they say it is, but it says like read a book or something like that, or something like that. But yeah, so that's the 3 things. You got crafting, the occult upgrade, the health stations. So besides all that, you also have just like solid voiceover work. I really like the main character, the main bad guy. Sorry, not the main character, the main bad guy. His voiceover work is just so good. He sounds just perfectly evil. The artwork too is it's fun. It's cartoon-esque, and yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I actually really like that aspect of it. So yeah, there is 4 playable starter characters. You have the 10-ish survivors. I don't know if it's like 10 or 11 or 12. I forget. I haven't actually recruited all of them, so I don't actually know how many there are. Yeah, you have 4 playable starter characters. So I picked the detective kind of guy, so he can find resources within, rooms, within the levels. He can find hidden resources. He has a pistol special attack where he can hit like up to 4 people in a radius next to him with his pistol for like a ton of damage. So if you're in like a really big battle, it's perfect. So that's the detective. Then you have the kind of like the ninja character, who would be a stealth kind of guy. He would do melee attacks, stuff like that. I think he gets a power up with slash weapons, so swords. And then you have the third character. I think she is like charisma based, so she has an easier time recruiting people to join her team. She has a motivate the troops kind of thing. Like each battle or so, she can inspire the people on her team to do more damage with their attacks. And then there is a 4th character. I just can't remember what she does because I haven't played her, and she was like the least interesting to me. So those were my 3 that I was like debating on playing my first time playing the game. So I thought I'd just throw those in there. Yeah, so the game's only $20. I feel like for $20 it's a snag. There's so many hours of gameplay that you could get out of this. It's crazy. And yeah, the only con that I can think of is the saving is kind of weird. So like for example, you can't have like multiple saves within one playthrough. Like for example, like say you start the game and it starts saving. Say it saves after level 4. You can't go back and play level 3. Well, you can go back. You can play any of the levels anytime you want, but you can't go back in time. You can't, say one of your characters dies or he loses a weapon. You can't go back and like load before he lost that weapon or load before he died. You can't do that. So it only has one save, if that makes sense. And, it's not a con or a pro. It's just like it makes the game more difficult, which is cool, but it can upset you a little bit. I lost a weapon one time, and it was hard to get it back. We'll just say that. So yeah, this was my review of Nautical. Peace, guys. Peace out.